Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, she flirts with other guys. Well, I've got an email here from a guy whose girlfriend, or I should say ex-girlfriend, was flirting with other men while they were together, and obviously he didn't like it. Even on one instance, she allowed one of her male coworkers to spank her butt. And obviously, as a guy, you're in a relationship, you care about somebody, you love a girl, or somebody you're dating, and you notice they're blatantly flirting with other men in front of you. That's fucking rude and disrespectful, and it's the hallmark of a very immature woman. My goal as a coach is I want you to have the best quality lover that you can have in your life, whether you're a woman or a guy, whether you're gay, straight, doesn't matter. I want people all over the world to know the stuff that I teach so they can use this knowledge to have the kind of relationships and create the kind of life and lifestyle that they've always wanted. I want to help the people that are open to being helped. Because the more people I do that with, the more leaders I help create. And the more of an example you can be to everybody in your life, the more you're going to be able to influence them. Because the things that I teach, quite frankly, are going to set you apart from everybody else. And people are going to wonder why you're so successful, why you're so happy, why that person you're with is so crazy about you, and why they're so happy with you. You know, there's an old saying, you can't make good wine from bad grapes. And a lot of the stuff that I teach is to help you make sure you got a lot of good grapes in your life, so to speak. That means a great job, great career. It means you're taking great care of your body. It means you're putting the right kind of foods in your body, an alkaline-based diet, so you can be healthy. Getting things like network chiropractic adjustments so you can keep your body in peak physical operating condition. Having really great friends in your life. Having really great business associates or clients. Having really great lovers in your life. Because the more your life is full of the kinds of people and the kinds of circumstances that you want, you can't help but be happy. So I got a quote that I wrote on this topic, and we're going to go through this guy's email. And the quote says, something all men and women need to develop within themselves is emotional self-control. Human beings tend to act upon their emotions and then use logic and reason to justify their actions. That is why all advertising is geared towards eliciting an emotional response within you. By forming an emotional connection between you and the product or service being advertised, advertisers can influence you emotionally and therefore cause you to use logic and reason to justify and talk yourself into purchasing that product or service that you don't really want or need. When it comes to our relationships, we must constantly remind ourselves to remain objective and look at the other person's actions, even though emotionally we want to believe them and buy what they're trying to sell us. If you can discipline yourself to remain objective and look at the other person's actions to base your decisions and actions upon, then you will save yourself a lot of heartache, heartbreak, and suffering from buyer's remorse. So let's go through his email. He says, "Hi Corey, I'm Bob from Romania. I'm 24 years old. First of all, thanks for your amazing work." You're welcome. It's my purpose. And thanks for applying this and being awesome. Because people that apply these things, that's why I say 3% man or 3% woman if you're a woman watching this. Because the things that I teach are things that very few people in this world understand, and much less understand, but actually apply. So you're one of the rare people who's making a difference in the world. You're making the world a better place. He says, in fact, I would like advice on what I did wrong in my last relationship. In fact, I'm doubting myself. My love story started in June. We met at work. Everything went perfect until our third date when I had to give her bad news. I had to leave for France in September to finish my studies, so I told her. Many times after this, she said she is scared with my leaving, but I told her it would be okay. And one thing I want to point out about that, a woman with a healthy self-esteem who's secure and comfortable in herself, she's going to be like, hey, if it's meant to be, it'll work out. But if you're dealing with somebody who's a liar and a cheater and who that's the way they look at the world, in other words, if they cheat themselves, that's the filter that they view the world. And that's how they view other people. So, because obviously the title, I already know what the email is about because I've read it before because this was an email coaching email that I did for somebody. It's a great email. But the point being is that if she's insecure, if she's a cheater, if she's a liar, she's thinking, well, if he's away from me, he's going to probably cheat on me because that's the way what she does. So that's just a little clue I wanted to point out of her character and her mindset and the way she's thinking, her belief system. Many times after this, she said she is scared with my leaving, but I told her it would be okay. We made love during our holidays in August at the beach. I arranged everything and it was awesome. She was my first girlfriend, first lover, I don't know, but whatever it was, I'm sure it was a good memory. That's the whole idea. Life is all about relationships, but it's really about creating great memories. So when you're old and you can't get your ass out of the rocking chair and you keep going, like my dad, when I hang out with him now, we'll be sitting there and I'll be talking to him and then I'll look over 5 minutes later, he just fucking falls asleep. It's like the switch just turns off. I'm like, Dad, what do you... He's like, oh, it just kind of happens. But the idea is when you get to that point in your life, it's great to have a lot of great memories. He says, well, it's here that all the red flags started to appear. First of all, she lied to her family that she was going with other friends and not with me all alone. So she has a habit of lying. Why? Because to tell the truth, the way she views the world, it's much easier just to lie because she's worried about other people loving and accepting her. And therefore, she's worried about what other people think, and when you're focused on what other people think, in a way, you're kind of, in essence, a prisoner to that. And I've actually got a quote that I retweeted the other day on Twitter that I wanted to share with you because it's along those same lines. It's a great quote. It's by Lao Tzu. And it says, care about what other people think and you will always be their prisoner. That's definitely something to think about. So let's get back to his email. So he says, she told me small lies, etc. And notice what he says here. This is part of how we delude ourselves. It's like what Dostoevsky said. A man who lies to himself and believes his own lies becomes unable to recognize truth either in himself or in anyone else. And pretty much every politician in the world, that's something they all suffer from. He says, I didn't really mind if there was love. In other words, yeah, I know she's lying to me, but I love her. See? That's the emotional, like I was talking about in the quote that I shared in the beginning of the video. That's the emotions overriding logic and reason. You're like, whoa, why is she lying to me? Why is she not being truthful? But he's young. This is his first, after all. And so he thinks, hey, this is okay. No, it's not okay. Red flag number 2. She was with me, and we wanted to go out one evening. She was getting ready, doing her stuff, etc. And while I was waiting for her, she was texting with a guy that I was a bit jealous of. That's definitely not fucking cool. If she's happy, you're her lover, you're her boyfriend, and yet she's texting with some other dude. Obviously, probably to line up a replacement or somebody to keep her company when you're not around. He says, I was jealous because I've seen that they are close at work, i.e. talking to him more than with me and being more close. Yeah, obviously there's a connection there, and she's encouraging it. She likes the attention because, hey, after all, you're going to be leaving for several months and doing your studies. And she doesn't want to be alone, and this particular guy obviously has no integrity. He knows that you're dating her, but he didn't give a fuck. Some guys are just scumbags like that. And you reap what you sow in life, and I've learned that the hard way when I was younger. You go around trying to rip off other dudes' girlfriends, it never ends well for you. He says, we went out and we bumped into this guy. We talked a bit and then went ahead, but I could feel that she was distracted. Well, it's obvious she's digging this other guy. She's not a loyal person. You can't have a healthy relationship with somebody like this. She's insecure, she's weak. Loyalty doesn't mean shit to her. It doesn't even cross her mind. Even if it does, it's just she gives it lip service because she doesn't see any problem with it. She doesn't see any problem with lying and being deceptive to you or her family. That's just her character. She learned this when she was a little girl. It's the way she is. This kind of woman is a great sex playmate, great fuck buddy, great person to have an open relationship with, but make sure you practice safe sex because if they're going to have multiple sexual partners and be reckless, I wouldn't fuck with that. You obviously seem like a good guy, and loyalty means something to you. You have some integrity, and obviously this ex-girlfriend of yours did not. He says, anything I did wasn't making her happy. I got a bit angry, and I took her home. I knew she felt me. It's like, if a woman treats you properly, she gets the gift of your time, and when she does shit like this, she gets the gift of missing you. Why would you want to spend your valuable time hanging out with a girl who you're supposedly dating when she's openly flirting with another guy at work, texting him, and then mysteriously bumping into him when you're out? And then you can tell her mind is somewhere else? Fuck that. I told her what bothered me, as I always do, and she assured me that it was only me. Yeah, you're just reading too much into it. Yeah, whatever. She's a fucking liar. She's telling you what you want to hear, dude. It's like, I don't really need this product or service, but, oh yeah, it makes sense because you're emotionally attached to her. And this is part of learning emotional self-control. You can say, yeah, I really love this girl and I want her, and the sex is amazing. She ain't girlfriend material. She ain't relationship material. But you can have a lot of fun, friends with benefits, fuck buddy, until you find a great girl to have a relationship with. See, your goals and your values are just simply not aligned with hers. But what's happening is you're projecting your ideal image onto her, and you're ignoring all these red flags. He says, however, she started to act very submissive and hyper-affectionate after I had this talk with her. Yeah, because you stood up for yourself, and you took her home. You're like, I don't want to hang out with you if you're going to be this way. You're not fun to be around. My life is a drama-free zone, and right now, I don't want to hang out with a girl who's thinking about another guy, who's texting another guy in front of me, who's openly flirting with another guy in front of me. I'm going to take you home, and you can have a great evening. I'm going to spend my time with people who appreciate me. You're acting with it, whether you realize it or not. You taking her home was the right move, because what she was doing was not fucking cool. She was not earning your time, and you're not going to just give it away like it means nothing, because your most valuable resource is your time. The third red flag was that she kept very often saying things about this guy out of context. Oh, he lives in town, and kept telling me things he said, his jokes, etc. I don't mind, but I was like, why is she telling me all this? Because she wants you to know this is who else she's interested in and who she's going to be fucking when you're not around. That way she doesn't feel bad about it, but she's not actually telling you what's really going on. And that's why when you know the stuff that's in my book, that's when you have a conversation. Say, look, you obviously dig this guy. I can see how the two of you are when you're together. And quite frankly, I like you. I'm really into you. But it's obvious that our values are not aligned. You don't see a problem with this behavior. And so I just want you to understand that I'm going to continue dating other people. If you want to hook up with this guy, great. But you and I are never going to go beyond an open relationship, fuck buddies, or friends with benefits. I just want to be honest with you because I can tell this is how you are. Loyalty doesn't mean shit to you. I can see that. Plus, you've lied to me on numerous occasions. That shit doesn't work for me. But I like you, and I still want to hang out and have some fun with you until I meet a woman who's exactly what I'm looking for. You tell her something like that, she might go, oh, she might try to change for you, but as soon as she gets comfortable, as soon as she thinks she's got you where she wants you, she'll go right back to being like this. So it's like when you know this stuff, when you're armed with this, doesn't mean you got to kick somebody like this to the curb if you really want a relationship. It just means that you can't have a relationship with this particular person. And I'm talking about an exclusive monogamous relationship. But hell, you can have a lot of great sex. Just make sure you wear a fucking raincoat. As for the fourth red flag, I'm still not sure about this, but I saw her one time getting a spank from this guy. Totally inappropriate. Not girlfriend material, dude. She's out. She's a fuck buddy. That's it. Sex playmate, awesome. Friends with benefits, awesome. Open relationship, awesome. Here I reacted so stupid that I'm ashamed to tell you I almost cried. That's not making you look masculine. See, the problem is you're getting upset at her nature, but this is the way she is. The way you got to look at it is like, hey, I got a great fuck buddy, and that's it. I confronted her with this, and her reaction was more mature than mine. I dumped her after a month because she wasn't communicating with me, which we talked about once a day with heartless emails, and she removed her in a relationship status from Facebook. Yeah, it's a fucking label to her. It's a label that she doesn't place any value or meaning on. Obviously, it's very important to you because it bothers you that this other dude's spanking her on the butt. And any guy that's in a relationship and his woman is allowing another dude to spank her on the butt, and that's totally inappropriate. And started to talk about her future without me in it. This behavior happened shortly after I bought her the plane tickets. I reacted immature by canceling her tickets to come see me here because of this behavior. What could I have done better? Well, the only thing that I would have done better is just say, hey, she's a fuck buddy. And you already bought the tickets. You could have flown her there and had her fuck your brains out. Then she would have gone back and probably fucked this guy's brains out. But it doesn't really fucking matter. What's done is done. You're obviously, you value loyalty, and that's cool. That's what's important to you. And this woman doesn't value it, even though she said she did by, the fact that she put a Facebook status that says she's in a relationship with you. It doesn't mean anything to her. How do I know? Look at her fucking actions. Look at the things that she says. Look at what she does. It's pretty fucking obvious. She's a liar. She'll cheat on any... It's like she does what she wants to make her happy. She's great for an open relationship, and that's it. So the only thing I'd say you're guilty of is in the beginning you were kind of delusional because obviously she was your first, and you didn't really see her for the reality that she is. Love her and accept her the way she is. She's a fuck buddy. And other than that, you need to keep looking for somebody that you can have a healthy relationship with. That's the only thing that I would critique you on. But I mean, I liked how you stood up for yourself. I liked how you took her home that night when her mind was somewhere else, obviously on this other guy that she's working with, and the fact that you dumped her because you didn't like how she was treating you. That took a lot of fucking balls to do that. A lot of guys would have just kept putting up with that shit, hoping things were going to change or that they could change her, that she would get better. It's like, no. You realize it wasn't working for you and you got the fuck out. So, good for you, dude. Awesome. Good fucking job. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session with yours truly. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.